Hello and welcome to another video. So you just came home from a walk with your camera and somehow the photographs that you took don't look nearly as good as the scene looked in real life. So you start wondering if it's your camera or your lens or your settings. But the truth is that many of us don't recognize a photograph when it actually appears. Because we can hesitate when we should just dive in and take the photo, and we can overthink it and even talk ourselves out of taking the photo, and then the shot's gone forever. But the real mistake happened before you even decided where to point the camera. And so today I'm going to give you one simple exercise that you can repeat forever to train your brain to recognize that moment that a photograph appears and before the shot disappears, and one that other people would just simply walk past. In just a few moments, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this exercise, but first you have to understand the one thing that is currently killing your feeling for that photo. So we tend to miss shots because we're looking for a kind of perfection instead of looking for a possibility. And this exercise will fundamentally change what you're looking for when you take a photo. One of the biggest mistakes that beginners make is that they're looking for a perfect photo, and that's completely understandable because we all do it at some point. We tend to look at the work of other photographers that we admire on YouTube or Instagram, and before we know it, those curated successes become the impossible standard that we're trying to match. So you go out looking for the same perfect light and the same perfect conditions and the same perfect compositions. But here's the problem. Even those photographers didn't create photographs like that every time they went out. You're not seeing the dozens or even hundreds of photos that didn't quite work. Experienced photographers are not walking around waiting for perfection. They're looking for the possibility of perfection. Maybe it's an area of light, or maybe it's an interesting shape. Maybe it's just the way that two objects relate to one another. And sometimes it's just a little spark of interest, a feeling that makes you stop walking, even if you don't know why. And this is where it gets frustrating for beginners, because that feeling can be incredibly vague to start off with. You can't explain it and you can't measure it. And because it feels so uncertain, it's very easy to dismiss it as nothing. You start to tell yourself that you're just imagining it, and you keep walking and the moment disappears. But here's the important part. That feeling isn't vague because you're doing something wrong or there's nothing there. It's vague because you haven't trained your brain to react to it consistently. And that's exactly what this exercise is going to change. So here is that exercise. What you have to do is just walk out of your door and walk normally, just like you're going to the shops. And do not look for photos. Don't look for leading lines and don't think about composition. Don't even lift your camera. Just walk. And the very millisecond that you feel something is there, even just the slightest feeling, that is the only signal that you need. And it's going to be a feeling that may make you think something like, that looks interesting, or that would make a good photo, or something just caught my eye, or there's just maybe a picture there. The moment something makes you stop in that way, and it could just be a shadow or a colour or just a faint, weird feeling in your gut. So don't ask, is this a good photo? But do ask, did this make me feel something, anything? And if the answer is yes to that, then raise the camera and take one photo. And you don't have to understand why you stopped, at least not yet. So don't analyze it, don't improve it, don't second guess it, just take it. And by refusing to overthink every photo, you're giving your instincts a chance to speak before that inner critic of yours talks you out of it. And you're kind of bypassing the logical part of your brain that wants perfection. And you're now training the intuitive part of your brain that recognizes emotion. So just continue walking and repeat the process over and over. And for the duration of your walk, you're going to take a number of photos, maybe many photos. And we'll talk about those a bit later. So here's the mistake that most beginners make. They think the exercise is about taking good photos, but it's not. It's about learning to recognize the moments that are worth photographing. It's not about making a masterpiece. It's more that every time you react to one of those faint moments or bigger rush of excitement moments, you're strengthening that instinct a little bit more. So we're building the muscle memory of that see, stop, shoot process that when the potential masterpiece does actually appear, you're going to be ready for it. Now, on the face of it, this exercise sounds almost too simple. Just walk, stop and take a photo. But there's a very good reason why it works. Think about learning to drive a car, for example. At first, every decision is deliberate. You're thinking about the gears, the mirrors, the pedals, and everything feels slow and unnatural. But after enough repetition, you stop thinking about those individual actions and you just do them. And photography works in much the same way. The more often that you react to that tiny feeling that makes you stop, the stronger that feeling becomes in the future. You're teaching yourself to notice things that you simply walked past before. And that's why this exercise will work. At first, those moments may feel faint and whisper-like, and you might even wonder if you're imagining them. And that is completely normal. Every photographer starts there. But every time you stop and every time you trust that feeling, you're strengthening that connection. And slowly those moments become less vague and you begin to notice the same kinds of things over and over again. Certain qualities of light, interesting shapes, layers, geometry, the relationships between different objects. And eventually you're going to realize something quite surprising. You're no longer trying to find photos, because photographs are now starting to find you. They're going to start to appear out of nowhere as you explore your surroundings. So now when you get home, this is where the real learning begins, because most people make the same mistake. They sit down at their computer, look through their photos and ask one question: is this any good? Now that's not a bad question, but it's the second question that you should be asking. And the first question is much more important. Why did I stop to take the photo? What was it that caught my attention in the first place? Was it the light? Was it a shape? Was it all those other bits and pieces that we spoke about before? And sometimes you won't even know why you stopped. And that's perfectly fine, because the important thing is that you're now starting to connect that feeling that you had in the moment with what was actually in front of you. So now look through all of the photographs that you took on that walk. Some of them won't work. Most of them even won't work. Some of them will be completely ordinary, which is what you would expect to happen. But every now and then, one photo will make you stop all over again. You'll find yourself looking at it just a little bit longer. Something about it feels stronger or more interesting or more satisfying. And that's the photograph that you should study. So then ask yourself, what did I do differently here? What made this one feel stronger than the others? Because that's where the learning happens. You're beginning to connect your instincts with conscious decisions about composition. And every time you repeat this exercise, those connections get a little stronger. Now, here's something that is really important. So we've established that some or most of those photos are not going to work. But don't make the mistake of thinking that your instinct was wrong, because it wasn't. Your instinct did its job. It made you stop. It showed you something worth photographing. And what you're learning now is how to turn that instinctive moment into a stronger composition. So instead of asking, was my instinct wrong? Ask yourself, what stopped this photo from becoming as strong as the feeling that made me take it? Because these are composition problems, not instinct problems. And that is really good news, because composition can be learnt. Your instinct simply gives you the raw materials to work with. So yes, at first this feels vague. It almost feels impossible, and that's because your brain hasn't built those connections yet. But every walk makes them stronger. Eventually you'll begin recognizing the same kinds of moments over and over again, which will become your photographic instincts. And that's when composition starts feeling natural instead of forced. And when that happens, composition stops feeling like a list of rules and starts feeling like a natural response to something that you've already noticed. Because great photos don't begin when you press a shutter. They begin the moment something makes you stop walking, that instinctive moment. So try this today. Spend just half an hour, if you can spare the time, or less, walking near your home. Don't look for perfect photos. Look for that possibility, and then come back and tell me one thing that made you stop walking in the comments below. And what you now need to do, now that you've nailed down that instinctive moment, and you now have the means to nurture and grow that instinct of yours, then watch this video here to learn how to turn that instinctive moment into photos that start to make other people jealous.